Hey there. So in my last video, I went over exactly what goes into a presentation for raising capital for real estate, right? How do you show off that story? So I went into sections that you must have in order to raise capital for real estate from accredited and retail investors. In this video, what I'm going to do is show you exactly and visually, so you can see, we're going to go slide by slide exactly into how we structure these presentations for our clients. You're going to see an overall framework that we use, and then you're going to see some of the modifications that our clients have made to make the presentation really their own. And so join me in this video, look over my shoulder as we go over this presentation slide by slide. All right, so now what we're seeing here is one of the presentations that our client is currently building out for their fund and their capital raise. And so what I want to show you first and foremost is the title slide. Obviously, we know that that's the place to start, but there has to be a strong hook that sort of sinks its teeth into our kind of the possibilities for what our investor base can dream up, right? And so here it's discover a proven pathway for building wealth and creating time freedom, right? And then it shows you, it teases out a little bit of the how there right below, and it tells you a little bit about the asset class, the investment strategy, and so forth. Generally at this point, we're going to get rid of the legal disclaimer. That's pretty standard. Get that out of the way. Then table of contents, always good to set pace for what there is to expect in this presentation. And it really is broken down into the who, why, how, where, and what. I love the simplicity of it. This is a twist that they put onto our framework, and I think it's so simple, and I love that. Starting with the who. And so this is an opportunity to introduce the speakers of this presentation. And by the way, this presentation is a part of this marketing funnel, this ecosystem, and this is also going to be the same presentation used in their on-demand webinar. Okay, so that makes sense there. And after the leadership team is introduced, then what we're going to be doing is generally a good idea if you have a larger team. It's to introduce them after and say, hey, look at the depth we have here. And this is something that I'm going to be encouraging these guys to do as well, because they're vertically integrated. They have a management team and a construction team in-house. So their core beliefs, this is sort of like, well, let's kind of double check our gut here. Is this going to be somebody I can trust with my money? So this is them sort of saying, hey, beyond the faces, beyond our resume, our kind of personality, what are we really all about? Transparency and communication policy, not exactly required, but again, it just kind of says, hey, this is what's to expect when you invest with us. We have an investor portal. This is how we're going to use it. This is how we're going to keep you informed as to what your money is doing at the moment. Reporting and the cadence of the communication is really what they're setting here. And then on top of the who, we're also kind of saying, well, this is our track record for our company, super high level, and so yeah, this is a good idea for you to show off as well. Diving a little bit deeper into it, it says how many units, how much equity they've raised, gross ROI, net ROI, IRR, and all that good stuff at a high level. And by the way, these images that are used here and here, these are from their actual renovations that they had done in the past. This is always a good idea to kind of sprinkle those within your slides. So here, this is generally something that we recommend, and it kind of says, hey, who are all of the institutional partners that are behind this investment opportunity? And so you're wanting to highlight, where the money is stored before it's deployed, what investor portal you're using, do you have any SD IRA partners, any lenders, legal and compliance, and construction and asset management or property management. And so the image that we want to create here is that, like, this is not like a Mickey Mouse operation. This is something that we've spent a lot of time bringing in just the right partners we've vetted all these people. And the idea here is that if, these people can trust this operator and the syndicator, well, so can you, right? That's the image that we want to sort of portray there. So then moving into our why. This is where we want to treat this presentation here as sort of a kind of a funnel, right? So this is a sort of a funnel within a funnel. And so here we're saying, why you should even trust us. That was our who. Then we're diving into, why are we even having this conversation to begin with, right? Like, what are all the benefits of investing in real estate? Because if we start diving into the deal right away, and this matters when talking with a retail or accredited investor, generally, well, I'll get into that in a second, but yeah, so it's important to understand why should you even pay attention to this whole thing, right? And so we're highlighting all the benefits of investing in real estate passively. Now here, by the way, this is a comparison of stocks versus multifamily investing. Generally, basically the thing to know here is that the leads that are coming in through our funnels, through our marketing strategy, they're pretty sophisticated. They're really close to making an investment decision. So we might not need to dive in so deep into convincing people as to why stocks versus real estate. They already know. And so, but if you want to dive deeper, this is kind of their take on it. Totally cool. Go for it. So a little pitch on how to transform your 401k and reinforce that with investing into a real asset. Why now? That's an important concept, and I think that's a lot of it's an elephant in the room right now, where investors they know that something is looming. They hear all the narrative that's in the news. They understand that there's something awry, and so addressing is now even a good time to invest. And further than that, highlighting the benefits of why we created, or why you've created this in this asset or this investment opportunity in preparation for what's about to come, right? So that's really important to say. Not only, hey, like, we understand that this is the thing that might happen, right, in the next year or so, but also saying, and here's how we've tailored this opportunity to mitigate that risk. Great opportunity to highlight that there. Educating on why invest in value add, why their investment strategy. This could be different for your investment strategy, but educating on that end. And at this point, what I love here is that they go deep, really deep, and there's a lot of highlights here on the befores and the afters. So their whole thing is creating affordable and beautiful housing. And I just love how many before and afters they include. People love seeing this stuff. Like, who doesn't love to see beautiful design and seeing, wow, this is what it looked like before, this is what it looked like after. And by the way, these guys are doing they have a portfolio of fix and flips. So yeah, really great examples, just breathing new life into these assets. And the more examples, I mean, look how many examples they have. There's probably 15 slides of examples. The more the better. I mean, this is really, really powerful to show, like, hey, we've done this before again and again and again. Okay, backing up, we mentioned who's behind this whole thing, why it even matters, and then the how. And that is talking about the fund itself, high level fund statistics. What's our acquisition criteria? Where are we looking? And again, just kind of saying, what is our strategy? And this is kind of diving into the business plan a little bit further into the strategy, high level. And then this is a lot of people don't include this slide, and it's such a powerful slide because it says, if you were to invest $100,000, and we've tried so many different designs, by the way, for what this particular slide looks like, and we found that this to be the most kind of effective and at a glance let investors know exactly what their money, the journey that their money is going to be going on. And so what's illustrated here is like, okay, if you were to invest $100,000, your $100,000 is going to be returned between years of 3 and 5. Then there's going to be cash flow between years 1 and 10. There's going to be a profit from sale, and then the total that's going to be returned. And it says, how long it's going to be. Then it's going to go into highlighting the key stats, which is the cash and cash returns, the equity multiple, and the average annual returns. Okay, really high level, really easy to understand. So then we saw the before and afters. Okay, now we're going to dive a little bit more into a couple of case studies. And so these case studies are deeper dives into what we saw before. And it says, okay, now you're highlighting the story. You're kind of going into a little bit of a storytelling mode and showcasing, okay, these are the challenges we went on. This is how we acquired the asset. Here's the challenges. Here's how we were able to turn the whole thing around and produce a great ROI for our investors. And so you want to tell a couple of those stories. There are the results there, really great in this asset here. So we covered a little bit of the where before, but now we're going to dive a little bit deeper. And so why did we even choose North Carolina, Tennessee, and Wisconsin as our target markets? Wherever your market is, and it can be nationwide too, by the way, just say where you're looking is going to produce. So why did we even choose the target market? And this is your way of just kind of backing up your thesis and going into a little bit of the numbers. You're going to want to talk about population growth, job growth, real estate value and how it's gone up, relocation numbers, and various demographics like that. And then you're going to also want to talk a little bit about why the particular submarket. So in this case, it's not just North Carolina. It's very specific to Fayetteville. And so why? Because we've got Fort Bragg. They're a large military base, good school. So here you're going to want to mention, if you have a location in mind that's specific within a certain market, so a submarket, like in this case, you got Fayetteville. Why Fayetteville specifically? Well, because you've got steady economic growth, lower volatility, reliable tenant pool, and anchored by a military presence. That's a really big selling point because of Fort Bragg. Going in a little bit more into Nashville, Tennessee, same deal. Why? And Wisconsin. So continuing to go into the submarket, into Nashville, Milwaukee, kind of same thing, highlight why you chose those specific submarkets. And a good idea too for an on-demand webinar is to preload your presentation with FAQs. You're already addressing some of the topics that your current investor base has brought up in the past. And so this is something that, is just kind of eliminates a question that they might come back with. And so these are already preloaded in our framework. Now, we advise that you put your own spin on it in your own language and also infuse a couple of your own specific questions. All right. And last but not least is the call to action. And so this is the slide that kind of summarizes the opportunity, what it takes to get started, and provides the next steps. And so the way we've been doing this is really cool, actually. And so we encourage our clients to say, hey, investor, we're at the end of the webinar. If you're interested in reserving your spot, we use that specific language. And then we say, scan, take your camera app out on your phone, point it to the screen, and click the link. It'll take you to the next step. And that's going to link you to the investor portal where they can see the summary of the entire investment opportunity and take the next steps and reserve their spot. And also, if they have any additional questions, they have their email address and phone number. So that's kind of how we do our presentations. Like I said, 80% of the framework is laid out for you. You just have to go in and fill it in. We are with our clients through every step of the way as they're doing this. So if they have any questions, they can reach out, and we kind of tailor this whole thing together based on their knowledge and our experience building these out. And then we continue setting up the marketing funnel with this deck as sort of the main foundation of the capital raise. So this is a really important part to get right. So this is the presentation that we just went over as we create it with our clients for their real estate fund raise. And if you're looking to have a funnel set up that brings in accredited investors to your raise while you sleep, this is the best funnel in existence for raising capital. And it's not only just a funnel, but it also it reinforces your business with accredited investor flow, so you never have to worry or lose sleep about where your capital is going to come from again. So if you feel like you'd be a good candidate for you to join our group of capital raisers and real estate fund operators who are looking to raise capital, let us know. Go to raisereadysystems.com/call, set up an intro call with us, and let's see if this is a good fit. Alrighty, talk to you soon. Bye.